The views and opinions expressed by guests on Soda City Unleashed are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of CVETS. While we love sharing stories and insights from the veterinary world, this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It is not a substitution for professional veterinary advice, diagnosis, or treatment. We always recommend consulting your primary veterinarian for any medical concerns regarding your pet. Welcome to Soda City Unleashed, our very first episode off the leash. We are at the beautiful Williams-Brice Stadium at the University of South Carolina, where we're going to take you into the inside world of being a USCPD K-9. You know what? Let's take this somewhere more comfortable.
I like that.
Welcome to Soda City Unleashed, where we decode pet health with some of the best veterinary experts in Columbia, South Carolina. And today we are off the leash at Williams-Brice Stadium, and we're giving you an inside look at what it's like to be a USCPD K-9 officer. Well, today I have Sergeant Mark Tevepaugh with me. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
It's a beautiful day in Columbia, South Carolina.
It really is.
So tell me about yourself. How long have you been with the University of South Carolina Police Department?
I've been here since 2012. It began end of 11, and I've been here since then. Serving the community here as a police officer, and I have enjoyed every bit of it so far.
So you were telling me before when you started, you were just a patrol officer, but now you are a K-9 officer, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So I started at the bottom, which I like to say is the best part because that's where I get to see the community and interact with our visitors and our staff and our students. But then I moved away and from patrol and got into the K-9 world, and I have been with my wonderful partner Poppy for the last almost going on 8 years.
Wow. So what made you think that you wanted to do that, go from patrol to having a partner with you every day?
So when I first started at USC, we didn't have a K-9 program. We were relying on outside agencies to perform tasks that we would normally need a K-9 for. And when the USC Police Department said, hey, we're going to have a K-9 program here, I said, well, that might be an interest to me because I see other fellow handlers enjoying what they do, that partnership, that bond with their K-9 companion. And I said, I want that. So when an opportunity came up, I took advantage of it.
What made you want to go into the line of, you told me you're from Chapin originally, you went to USC. What made you want to stay here at USC and be a police officer?
So I have a lot of tradition here. I have family that have attended here. My parents, as well as my grandfather, has a lot of history here. He did a lot of the public address announcing at the football games that we're sitting behind right now. And I grew up being a Gamecock fan. And I said, you know what, how can I give back to the community that, or the university that did so much for my family? And I said, you know what, I'm gonna start my career here, and I haven't left because I love it every day.
Such a great place to be. They're just gonna keep you forever, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about Poppy. Tell us how old she is, what kind of dog she is, and a little bit about her personality.
Poppy is an amazing canine. She's a black lab. She'll be 8 in September of 2025, and I've had her ever since she was almost 1. So wow. It's a bond that you can't beat.
Where is she from, and how did the USCPD go about getting Poppy?
Poppy is from Columbia, South America, and now she is in Columbia, South Carolina.
Now that's cool.
Yeah, that is one of the coolest things I like to talk about her, and it's just she was meant to be here. Came from Global K-9. It's a protection group that gives and offers law enforcement canines that specialize in the detection of firearms and explosives.
So that was my next question. What is Poppy's specialty?
Her specialty is detection of firearms and explosives. She's part of this technology. It's called CPS technology. It's canine performance science, where she has the ability to detect the odor of explosive and firearms when it's moving on a person. So on a typical game day, you'll see us walking around this tarmac, and we're looking for that odor of explosive and firearms, which is prohibited on University of South Carolina grounds. But Poppy is able to detect it not only when it's moving, but when it's sitting still. And what I'd like to show you is what she does when she finds something and how she alerts me, because it's a team. And I gotta be able to see what she's looking for and what she's smelling, but it's also that handler relationship where I know, hey, this is where it's at. And that's where I can get the other law enforcement personnel to say, hey, this is what we need to investigate.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So this is her toy. This is her reward. This is her paycheck that she likes to obviously earn. So she's going to look for this, but she doesn't know it.
Okay.
She's looking for that odor that we've trained her to detect. So on a typical search, what we're going to do is just, she doesn't know this is here, but I'll hit, say, hey, search. And she starts working, right? It's a cool job where it's that relationship, right? And if you notice, she's already stopping, right? And she's investigating, and that's her response and saying, hey, source is there. This is what I need to investigate. And I would be keeping me in if I didn't pay her, right? And that's her toy. And this is when we play with her. And she gets a reward and a job well done.
So is that, you guys have that with you when you're, like when she's walking around?
Yep, so this is her Chuck It, her toy, her money for an adult, right? That she gets every time she finds something, because why do something for free, right? You gotta earn it, right?
Right.
And so when she finds what we wanna do in a training environment, she gets her toy.
Why a toy instead of, say, like a treat?
Yeah, so we don't want her to be food driven. We want her to be toy driven. And what they did when they first got her at training is they put a bunch of toys on the ground to find out what she was interested in. And it was a tennis ball, a Chuck It, a Kong, whatever it was. They put them all on the floor, and the first thing that she went to is a Chuck It. And from there on out, I knew that was a symbolization of what her favorite thing was. So she's never had other than a Chuck It with me in her career.
Gotcha. So football season is here. It is upon us. And so that is one of your big jobs. You and Poppy, that's what you guys do. You'll be at every home game, is that right?
Absolutely.
So apart from that, what else do you guys do here at USC?
Yeah, so, this is just a small portion of what we do here. Poppy and myself and the other great handlers that I work with in K-9s, our main goal is just to connect with the community, with our K-9s, but also provide that need of if they need a K-9, we're available. We go in the beginning of the year, we have orientation, where all incoming freshmen come to university, and it's a big environmental change from where they may come from. And we want to be that first interaction with law enforcement in a positive note.
Right, and showing that it's a safe place to be.
Absolutely. I'm a parent myself, and when my child, grows up and picks a university, I'm hoping the university has what the University of South Carolina has, and that's amazing K-9 program as well as a police department that's there to serve our community.
How do you and Poppy and then the other K-9 officers and K-9s themselves keep training and stay on top of the skills? What does that look like for the USCPD?
Here at the University of South Carolina, we have a lot of resources and a lot of places that we can train. And us having friendly K-9s, it helps be able to train in our community. And one of the things I talked about before is the ability to detect the odor on a person, right? So we'll use our dogs and we'll go train along Green Street where our community, our students are. And that's one where I talked about our ways to connect with that community.
Right.
They're seeing our dogs in action. They're seeing what they can do. And they're also getting the ability to take part in that training if they're lucky enough to be in that right time, right place, right? So we train all over campus. We have a great, like I said, environment to do so. And that's good for our dogs because they're not getting complacent on the same location training. Right. And it benefits everybody involved.
How do you guys collaborate with those other agencies that are here in Columbia in the greater county areas?
The K-9 program here couldn't be where it is without the joint efforts of all the law enforcement around the area, because they helped us mold us into, because like I said, we're fresh. We've been only law enforcement K-9 program for 8 years. We had to rely on other agencies, and we still do. It's a joint effort. We see behind us Williams-Brice Stadium. A lot of agencies, collaborate and take part to ensure safety on game days is set. And with our K-9 program, we do joint trainings. We want to make sure we're connecting with our fellow handlers because maybe they see something in the roles of law enforcement that we don't, and we can see something that they don't see and collaborate and make a great state agency.
Absolutely. Collaboration always makes things run smoothly,
right? It really does. It really does.
So more about Poppy. How do you maintain your strong relationship and bond with Poppy?
So one of our basic requirements is the dog has to stay with you 24/7. And from day one, we're paired with that dog in training. And then we stay in a hotel, we build a relationship together, and then we certify, and then we come back to the university. Everybody's like, oh, I don't want to leave my dog at the house. Well, thankfully, I don't have to. I get to bring my dog to work, bring my dog home, stay with my family, interact with my son and my daughter, and it builds that relationship because I can rely on her trust at home, and that builds that gap between community and law enforcement, where if I can trust my K-9, then I know the community can trust our police department.
Absolutely. Wow, that's a beautiful way to tie all that together.
Absolutely.
So does she have any kind of switch that's like, hey, we're leaving home, we're going to work? Does she know?
Yeah, she does. So she loves working, and when we get to an environment where she's trained a lot at, she starts barking, right? But when I get home, she knows it's relaxation, and she starts barking the minute I drive on my street. And it's literally, I'm like, okay, now my ears are starting to hurt. So I'm like, all right, I got to get this driveway as fast as possible. But once she knows she's home, she's excited to see my family. She literally passes out like any other canine, any kind of pet, and just waiting for her to be fed. And then the next morning we start all over again.
That sounds like a dog.
It really does.
Is she the kind of dog that likes belly rubs and ball throws and all that good stuff?
She likes staying away from me. So when we get home,
Really?
Yeah, when we get home, we're always together. She likes her own little space. She's been working hard, and it's just like, we're with each other all the time, and it's a great thing. But also, space is good. And when I don't see her for like 30 minutes, I'm like, all right, where'd she go? You know what I'm saying? So we have a great relationship at home, which makes a great relationship at work. But yes, she does like her quiet.
And you mentioned you have children, so does she get along with your kids really well?
Yeah, oh yeah. So one of our goals at the police department was to have friendly canines. We don't want to have any aggression because we want to be able to connect with our community and not fear us.
Sure.
So that plays a part when I get home. My kids love my canine, my partner Poppy, right? So when I first had my son 4 years ago, we were growing, teaching him what things were, and one was a dog, right, and which would be Poppy, right? Mm-hmm. Well, he would always say "good girl" before her name, right, Poppy, because I would always tell Poppy when she was at home, "good girl." So he adapted "good girl" as her name, but then I finally had to teach him, "Hey, it's Poppy," right?
By the way, it can be good girl Poppy.
Absolutely. Yeah, he says that quite often. Aww. So she loves to work, and the drive is still there, and that's what makes my job fun, right, is knowing that, hey, she's happy to be at work.
Right.
She comes to work with a smile on her face, tongue out, every single day. And
ready to go, tail wagging.
You find one employee that will do that
right,
every single day. And if you can find that, come back and do a second podcast, okay?
Let me know.
I will gladly contest it. But
does she get excited for games, like all the people being around?
She loves it. So if you come to the early gates and you see me coming down and parking in the lot where you see law enforcement, you'll hear her barking.
Because she's ready.
She's ready to go. She is.
Do you have a memorable, serious, or funny moment with Poppy that comes to mind as far as like something you guys did together at work?
In 2023, she was nominated for the American Humane Law Enforcement Dog of the Year for the entire country. And with the help and support of not only the police department and the university and the community, she was able to take home that award for the state of South Carolina and the entire country for law enforcement.
Wow.
Absolutely. She worked hard for that. And what made it so important is it showed her hard work, not only her, but the other canines across the state, what they do. And it was a good representation of how, to set that bar of excellence that we do here at USC and just show it to the world.
Did she get a pub cup or something to celebrate?
She got a trophy.
Okay.
It's sitting in my office.
All right, there you go.
She got a lot of rubs. Yeah, she got a lot of pets and everything like that.
How do you prepare a canine for all of the noise, distraction, high foot traffic? I mean, I've been on Green Street in the middle of a school day.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of people. How is she able to stay calm and do her job in those environments?
Yeah, so canines have sensitive ears, right? And sometimes they can get spooked, right? Mm-hmm. Some fireworks, whatever, it happens. But at an early age, when we first got our canines, they're tested at a young age to see if they can adapt and see if they can, get through a situation, whether it's gunfire or fireworks or our car that passes by. That can startle a train, yeah. And there's none around Columbia, right? But you see the acclimation that they get early, and they phase out, and which is unfortunate because some have amazing nose, but they can't do that job. And we need to have reliable canines in the law enforcement world. What we do on a daily basis here at USC is prepping for football, for example. It's not always just noise. It could be the heat. So we want to make sure we expose our canines, slowly and gradually to the heat, and we do laps. What we would simulate as a football game. We prep, right? We get acclimation for the canines, but we do training, starting out from 2 months ago in July, starting prep for the upcoming season. So preparation and continuous training and developing new standards is always going to help your canine succeed.
What would you say to someone who might be listening that might want to be a canine handler in the future?
Go for it. It's the perfect job, right? I did a little pun there. It's a perfect job that anybody that wants to be, in a job that's not only rewarding but challenging at the same time, because I like to consider in the detection side, it's the worst game of hide and go seek in the world, right? Because I don't know where it's at. Mm-hmm. I have to rely on the trust down the lead of my canine to find it, because if I can't see it, right, then I'm causing an issue to the safety. But if I have a dog that can smell it and she can be that team, and it's the most rewarding job in the world.
Now, the hardest question of all, what do you think we're going to do this season football-wise?
Undefeated national champions. That was an easy one. All right.
I love it. I love it.
I couldn't have said it better. And I hope that's the way, because when I see a full stadium, it brings back my childhood memories when you had Steve Spurrier and Lou Holtz and all these great memories that I saw. And now I'm experiencing it and being on the opposite side, enjoying the environment, but also ensuring the safety of the community.
If someone listening is at a USC game this year and they see you and Poppy, can they give you a high five and give Poppy a rub?
During the game days, we're probably working, not only myself, but there's a lot of law enforcement that are working hard every game to ensure your safety. Absolutely. If I have a free moment and Poppy's not working, she would enjoy it very much, because she's going to be working hard, just like every other law enforcement personnel out there.
Rule of thumb, ask first, right?
Absolutely. Ask before you pay. Absolutely.
Love it. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on our first Out of the Studio podcast, which we're excited about.
Oh, I'm absolutely excited. It could be a better environment.
I know. It's a beautiful day. Anytime you're at Willie B,
Oh, absolutely.
Sorry to our Clemson fans.
I'm hoping we're getting a lot of fireworks here soon, right?
Whew, yes. We need the fireworks this season. We're definitely excited.
Well, I think we're due.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us for Soda City Unleashed. Until next time, give your pet an extra pet from us.